Good evening, guys, and welcome to a new weekly reading vlog. So, it is currently Monday, May 3rd. Is the start of a new week. It is close to the beginning of a new month, and I figured I'd take the time to start a reading vlog. So, let's just brush on this month in general. It's 1 month. I'm not participating in any readathons and stuff for this month. Anyways, let's jump into this week. So, as it's our new reading month, I do have a new TBR for this month, and you guys will get that video hopefully Saturday, Sunday. Tuesday, Wednesday this week, you guys should get a weekly reading vlog for me. I'm still questioning my upload schedule on whether it should be Tuesdays and Saturdays. So I think I'm gonna push it to either aiming it for Wednesday and Sunday, maybe better than Tuesday, Saturday. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. But at least if a YouTube video is not up by Tuesday, it'll be up by Wednesday. So that's great. And I won't be, of course, editing on Sunday night. I should probably talk to you guys. So filming is going to be a little bit different because, as you can see, I have a couch in my room now. So this couch used to be my sister's couch. She, of course, had it in her room and decided that she didn't want the couch anymore, so gave it to me. So now I have a couch in my room. And I've, of course, been sitting on it and loving it. It's really great in terms of reading. I can now read on this couch and not read in my bed, and I have a spot to read, so I feel a bit more relaxed, which is interesting. So you may see me do more filming and give more updates from this spot. I'll try to switch it up, but you'll see maybe possibly the majority of them here, especially if I'm working later, like tonight. I got done a little bit later than normal. In terms of what's going on this week, not much. I have Wednesday off for during the week. And I have Saturday off as well, which is kind of nice. We're planning on doing some fun things on Saturday for Mother's Day and for my grandpa's birthday, which is on Saturday. In terms of reading for this week, I am currently about 200 pages into the Afterlife of Holly Chase, which is a retelling of A Christmas Carol, and I'm really liking it so far. So I'm planning on finishing that this week, and I'm planning on at least starting Lady Midnight, which is the first book in the Dark Artifices series by Cassandra Clare. In order to read this one, you have to have read City of Heavenly Fire, which I have, but it's been a long time. Hopefully this week I'll have time to work more on my TBR game, and I'll show you what I'm currently working on. Hopefully once I get all this editing done for this week, I can work on it in the evenings. I'm planning on in the evenings to do alternate reading sessions between reading and editing. Hopefully also this week I will kind of get some stuff organized over here, like my reading bullet journal. I haven't set up this month's spreads yet, and I have a notebook over here that I'm going to use for kind of like my video games. So I kind of need to get started on that, because I kind of like to 100% video games if I can at least try to. I don't know why, it's just been me. And if not, do as much as I can. So hopefully I'll show you some of my progress that I've been making with that. I might show you something else that's going on this week, who knows. I kind of wish I did have more updates for you on the Afterlife of Holly Chase, but it's like almost 9:30. I mean, I'm really liking the Afterlife of Holly Chase so far. It's, for a retelling, it's pretty good, and it's actually quite funny. which is another reason kind of why I'm liking it. It's a lot funnier than the last book I read, so it's kind of amping up my enjoyment level a bit. There are also quite a lot of moments where it mentions other Christmassy things, since it is a retelling of A Christmas Story. So there are other mentions of that, and those are really funny and really creative. And I really like how it's been done. And you can tell that some of the lines and some of the quotes are from other Christmas things, especially if Christmas is one of your favorite holidays, which mine is Christmas. So I'm really enjoying this so far. I kind of wish I had read it closer to Christmas, but for a first reading it right now is not that bad. It's kind of what I needed. If there is a chance this month where I finish my TBR, then we'll obviously pick a new book and I'll film it for you guys. But it's not part of the TBR for the month. We'll just pick it to read it. I also might film some other stuff that's going to happen later towards the month, like picking my TBR for June, because you might get that. You might get that as something else. I have to think about it. So yeah, that's going to be all the updates that I have for right now. I will update you guys after I have gotten some more reading done. Hello there, you guys. So it is currently about 10:40 on Tuesday, May 4th, and I'm here to give you guys a reading update. So I am currently on page 316 of The Afterlife of Holly Chase, and last night I read about 58 pages. I've been doing this alternating schedule where I essentially read for 30 minutes and then I do something else. Lately it's been YouTube stuff, so editing, working on the TBR game. Let's get into my updates of this book. I've realized in the updates that I've given you, I haven't given you guys a synopsis, and I'm kind of sorry for that. So I'm actually going to read you guys the synopsis on Goodreads. Yes, sometimes these may be spoilers, but it's enough spoiler for you to know what's going to happen in the book without you, of course, jumping into the book straight-hand, not knowing anything. I kind of like to know a little bit when I read a book or even watch a TV show. I don't like to jump in knowing what's going to happen. Yeah, so The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. On Christmas Eve 5 years ago, Holly was visited by 3 ghosts who showed her how selfish and spoiled she'd become. They tried to convince her to mend her ways. She didn't. And then she died. Now she's stuck working for the top-secret company Project Scrooge as the latest ghost to Christmas past. Every year they save another miserly grouch. Every year Holly stays frozen at 17 while her family and friends go on living without her. So far, Holly's afterlife has been miserable, but this year everything is about to change. So, as you can kind of get from the synopsis, this book is essentially a retelling of A Christmas Story by Charles Dickens, in which a guy named Ebenezer Scrooge is visited by 3 ghosts: the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, and the ghost of Christmas future, to try to change his ways. In that story, Scrooge does change his ways. And as you got from the synopsis, A Christmas Story is taking place present day. Holly apparently was a failed Scrooge, so she then died. And the Scrooges who have died, they actually go on to work for Project Scrooge. So it's kind of funny in that way. It's like, oh my gosh, this was you. Kind of crap. Now you're stuck working to try to change other people when you itself weren't at the beginning changed. So it's a story like that. I'm really liking it so far. It's really heartwarming. I should read this book around Christmas. I might reread this book around Christmas. This is probably when I probably should have read this book, was around Christmas, since it's really meant to be read around Christmas. Due to all the Christmas references, due to all the A Christmas Carol references, it's just a fun time. No, I'm definitely not a Scrooge. Christmas is my favorite holiday. Which is kind of why I'm really liking this book, because it is about Christmas. And it's kind of bringing a little bit of those warm and happy, fuzzy feelings into the book. I have given you other thoughts of the book in last week's reading vlogs, but since I'm now near the end, let me see if I can guess the rating. I think the rating for this book is probably going to be somewhere between a 4 and 5 star. Definitely either a 4 or a 5 star. It's really good. I really like it. I wish there was more intrigue. I'm now picking up on the ending and I know what's going to happen. Well, I have a hunch. I don't know if my hunch is correct, but it's honestly a good hunch, and if this hunch isn't correct, I will be fairly surprised. That's all for the reading updates that I have right now. Let me see if there's any other updates. Not that you guys want to know about. I really don't have any updates. It's kind of about the same. I do have this couch. I'm really liking this couch. It's improved my ways in ways that I wanted. Number one, I'm reading here, and it's nice. Number two, because of the way it's so close to my bed, which is actually what you're propped up on right now is my bed, I feel like I can prop up my laptop on my bed, on my couch a certain way, and it feels like there's a TV in my room, which is more relaxing. It's a nice spot. The couch is pretty comfortable. I can read and play video games and eat food and stuff here and not feel like I'm making a mess. I'm having coffee in the morning, which I didn't used to do, but I can sit it right on my nightstand since I moved my nightstand from over where it was by my bed to over here, and it's made that area a bit bigger. The room does feel a bit bigger, which is really interesting. I think it's because I'm all the way back here on this wall that makes it so big. I figured that if I had this new couch in my room, I should get sort of a routine going. And so far, I've worn makeup the past couple of days. It's been kind of nice doing something like that in the morning, like painting a face, even though I'm not like painting a face. You know what I mean? It's nice and I like it, and I'm sort of somewhat getting a routine. I've also been fairly productive. I've noticed my productivity has increased and my stress has decreased, which is really interesting. I don't feel as stressed right now, which is quite surprising. I don't really know why I don't feel stressed right now. This couch has something to do with it. And there's a couple other things. I think it might be because I'm time blocking. Yeah, that's maybe what it is. Yes, I'm time blocking. So I've essentially blocked off the day part. The evening part is somewhat time blocked. Right now it says I'm supposed to be reading and playing video games, which is partially true. Since I think I'm probably done with YouTube work for the night, since I finished editing and I uploaded my video. I think I'm done. And tomorrow we'll get set up with uploading the video for Sunday. I think that's how this is going to work. We're going to stick with focusing on editing first, getting the content up, creating it, figure that out. Once it's uploaded, I'll then check on the content for next week, figure out what's going up and stuff. I do know of one video for next week that's going to be, of course, be the weekly reading vlog for this week, so this video will go up next week. I don't know what video is also going up next week. I'm one of those persons to where my weeks run Monday through Sunday, even though the work is technically Sunday through Saturday. I don't really agree with that. It's like, what? That's weird. The week starts on a Monday. Anyways, that's it for my reading updates. I will talk to you guys when I have some more updates. Hello, everyone. So, today is Sunday, May 9th, which means it is time for me to wrap up this weekly reading vlog. I know over the past couple days I didn't do any updates regarding my reading, but I didn't really have a lot of time to update. I was essentially more or less forgetting to update, so I have to do that. Whether or not it's in the morning or it's at night, I'm going to try to get back on top of that, doing that this week here coming up, since it is a new week starting next week. It's been a pretty cold week here. It's been cold, wet, and rainy here where I live, stuff like that. So it is good primal reading weather. I've been getting used to this couch a lot this week, and it's probably going to be where I do most of my stuff from now on, including, work and stuff. That may be quite bad to do work here on a couch, but I found out that working at a desk for me isn't very productive, and I'm very confined, and I feel a little claustrophobic. But sitting on this couch, I don't feel claustrophobic, even if it's in a somewhat of a tight corner. I kind of feel a bit more open when I'm working here on the couch. So, the last time I spoke to you, I was reading The Afterlife of Holly Chase. Well, I am pleased to report that I have since finished The Afterlife of Holly Chase. I finished that on the 5th, which was Thursday? Yes, Thursday. Thursday/Friday, I finished The Afterlife of Holly Chase, and I have, of course, since put it through Cawpile. So I will tell you, so I gave The Afterlife of Holly Chase a 9 for characters, a 10 for atmosphere, an 8 for writing, an 8 for plot, a 9 for intrigue, an 8 for logic, and a 9 for enjoyment, giving the book an 8.71 out of 10, which makes it a 4-star read. I really enjoyed the book. That's why I gave it a 9. I should have probably read it around Christmas. That probably would have brought the enjoyment level up to a 10, but I'm glad I read it because it kind of brought the Christmas vibes back to where I am. Christmas is my favorite holiday, so reading about Christmas kind of puts me in a good mood, and it was kind of, a book that I needed to read. Maybe I should have read it at Christmas, but there's no harm done. Logic, I gave an 8. That's because there was one moment in the book, I almost thought this book was going to pull a Sixth Sense. Yes, I thought it was going to pull a Sixth Sense moment. The logic for even that movie and even moment, it doesn't make sense. That kind of does make sense. So it's one of those, that's why I kind of gave the logic that. There was kind of a moment towards the end where it almost pulled a Sixth Sense. I gave it a 9 for intrigue because of the Sixth Sense almost moment. I was very intrigued after that moment, and I thought something was going to happen that, of course, didn't, but maybe it did, because we never really found out what happened after that moment. So there's still some intrigue. Is there room for sequel? I mean, yes. there's still a point in time, when the author could return to this somewhat universe. So that could still happen. I would kind of still like to see maybe a sequel to this in the future. I'll keep my eyes out because it was really good. Plot and writing did both get an 8. I'm not really a good writer. When I was in grade school, my highest score was in reading comprehension and not in writing. So writing for me is a little bit hard to judge. However, I always know that if the book reads good, it means the writing's better. It means that the writing is good. Children's books, sometimes the writing can be a little low, but that's because my comprehension skills are really high. So it got an 8. That's pretty standard. Plot, I gave an 8 just because there was quite a low moment in terms of plot. But because this book was more character driven, the plot was a little low. So that's why I gave it an 8. It was enjoyable to read. And it kind of made you feel more for the characters. Atmosphere, I gave it a 10. It's set in New York. I've been to New York twice. East Coast. Not my favorite city in the world, don't get me wrong. I don't like the city aspect of New York. But New York at Christmas puts a moment in you. It just makes it really happy. Some of my favorite TV shows take place in New York. A lot of sitcoms take place in New York. And I watch a lot of sitcoms. That's why Atmosphere got a 10. And characters, of course, got a 9. The characters didn't really stick out to me, but they were good characters nonetheless. I'm very happy with that score. I think that's well deserving of the book. If, of course, you guys were wanting to read this book, I would recommend you do so at Christmas time. It is very much a atmospheric and Christmas book. There are a bunch of Christmas references. Or a bunch of, New York Christmas references. There are references to other Christmas movies. And some lines in the book were taken directly from other Christmas movies, which was kind of fun to see that. So, there's that book. Since finishing that book, I have put in 200 pages into Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. Because this is the first update I'm doing you guys for this book, I'm of course going to share you guys the synopsis of the book, just in case you aren't familiar with it. I'm going off of Goodreads here because I do not own a physical copy of the book. I'm reading this book on my Kindle Fire HD tablet here on Scribd. Since I have a Scribd subscription, I've had Scribd for a couple of years now, and I really enjoy it. Since I'm now getting used to it, I feel like I'm getting my worth out of it. So, yes, Lady Midnight is the first book in the Dark Artifices trilogy by Cassandra Clare. It is another Shadowhunter trilogy book. This time we are set in LA. And it is technically a sequel to the Mortal Instruments series, with the last one being City of Heavenly Fire, which I have read. I read in high school. Even though technically I haven't read it for you guys or put it through my call pass system, I am planning on doing it. But since I've already read it previously in the past, I can read this book. So, let us begin with the synopsis. So, it's been 5 years since the events of City of Heavenly Fire that brought the Shadowhunters to the brink of oblivion. Emma Carstairs is no longer a child in mourning, but a younger woman bent on discovering what killed her parents and avenging her losses. Together with her parabatai, Julian Blackthorne, Emma must learn to trust her head and her heart as she investigates a demonic plot that stretches across Los Angeles, from the Sunset Strip to the enchanted sea that pounds the beaches of Santa Monica. If only her heart didn't lead her in treacherous directions. Making things even more complicated, Julian's brother Mark, who was captured by the fairies 5 years ago, has been returned as a bargaining chip. The fairies are desperate to find out who is murdering their kind, and they need the Shadowhunters' help to do it. But time works differently in fairies, so Mark has barely aged and doesn't recognize his family. Can he ever trust to really return to them? Will the fairies really allow it? Glitz, glamour, and Shadowhunters abound in this heart-rending opening to Santa Claire's Dark Artifices series. So, yeah, that is the synopsis of the book. That's what Goodreads has it as. I don't know if that's exactly what is written on the inside cover of the dust jacket for this book, but I just want to read you guys that when I'm first talking about a book, because I, of course, want you guys to know that technically when you buy a book, you read the synopsis first. And so that's what I'm essentially doing. And now I'm going to tell you what I think of the book. 200 pages in, and it's reading like a murder mystery, which I'm kind of liking and kind of half here for. I do like murder mystery style whodunit books. And this takes Shadowhunters, which I do like this universe of course, the Nephilim, demons, vampires, werewolves, fairies. I do like that whole universe. It's a plus for me in that. Number one, what's also a plus is we have Emma Carstairs, which is related, yes, to the Carstairs. If you've read Infernal Devices, it's the Carstairs family line from that, and also the Blackhorn family line from that. So, I'm back learning more about these two families. It's interesting. I mean, adding Fae in is really also interesting, because I don't think they were in much. No, they weren't in the Infernal Devices. It is just the Mortal Instruments with the Fae. I'm excited to see and learn more of what happened, because so far in this book we've had more of a discussion of Parabatai. And I've always liked that sort of relationship within these books. I'm a sucker for brotherhood and sisterhood and family bonds moments in books, movies, and TV shows. That's kind of my homing ground and what I reach for. So I'm very excited to read more about that. I've heard really good things about this series, and I've heard that it's one of her best series. And so far, it's kind of living up to that. I'm kind of excited to see what sort of rating it's going to get. So far, it's definitely more than 3 stars. At least from what I've read, it's definitely more than 3 stars. I'm hoping, of course, to read more some tonight here. Speaking as it's like Sunday night and the end of a long week. Yeah, that is going to be it from me, guys, for this weekly reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's more still sit-down type of videos, but this is when I can remember to turn on the camera since I work. And I actually don't have a lot of space on my phone, which is what I would probably use to film vlogs and stuff like that. So you're actually being filmed on my computer. So yes, thank you guys for watching. Comment down below what you guys got up to this week, or just to chat and say hi. I'm always looking to make good new friends in this booktube community. Please give this video a like and a subscribe. I post new content every Tuesday and Saturday. And remember, we are the one within the all.